Hey folks, welcome to another Thursdays with Mike. I am back home, literally. And in fact, I'd like to take you outside and have you meet someone here. This is my friend, the tree that, well, I guess we've never named her. We just call her Maple. All right, but we've been in this house for 30 years, and so I've been mowing around this tree for 30 years, and this tree has provided us with natural shade and natural air conditioning for 30 years. I've been raking up its leaves for 30 years, and so it's been this symbiotic relationship that we've sustained, and we've so been blessed by the tree. We had somebody coming out this year to cut out the dead. And I mean, right now it looks, well, lots of leaves. But in reality, when they came out to cut out the dead, they said, you're going to be actually cutting out most of the tree. It's like, yeah, it looks really good, but you can see a lot of yellow in the leaves on this side, and there's just a whole lot of branches that are up in the midst of this that have no life left in them at all. And so if they cut out all the dead, we'd basically be left with this portion here. And so we have this tree, and then like 3 fruit trees that were kind of critical in the backyard. A big cherry tree it needed to actually come down because it was growing into the business behind us. So it was like, okay, we'll deal with that one. And I guess then, so we did those 3 fruit trees in the spring, and the thought was we'll do this in the fall. And so looking at the rhythms of going to NIH, back in Maryland for my granddaughter's, surgery on the lungs, a month back in June, July, and then September ended up just being 2 weeks, which was good. But my thought was, okay, well, we'll just get on this and spread this out a little bit. Those 3 then, and then this, which will be just as expensive as those 3. So just spread it out a little bit, cut this down. They said they didn't see anything immediately. Hopefully, you just never know, they said. So but anyway, so all of this to say, I'm really glad I got home when I did, because this just wouldn't have been a good thing to see my wife Luane navigate alone. But yeah, I got a call on Monday from our neighbor that, well, there's been an event. That's never a good introduction in a call. There's been an event. But yeah, it was a fairly large branch, actually. This section right up here, you can kind of see right there, okay? This section right here, yeah, it fell. And so when I came home, I saw like 30 feet of, I'm trying to get the angle right here, 30 feet of this limb of this branch. It was a foot in diameter, and it was lying across our neighbor's nice truck there. And fortunately, that's all that was damaged. From what they described, I thought, I'm coming home to like the apocalypse. But it wasn't nearly so bad. But we did took down a power line going to a light post, and so pulled down the light post. So we'll probably get a bill from the city for that, and insurance premiums. Okay, yeah, it's just called money in life. And that's kind of the point why I take this to you, because James says, James 1:2. I think it's James 1:2. It's just at the start of James. It should be 1:2. Consider it pure joy whenever you fall into all kinds of trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience, and let patience finish its work, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Now, James is picturing us falling into trials, kind of like a pit that we fall in, and we're surrounded by afflictions and pressings. Biblical word for trials and tribulation is how we translate it usually, is thlipsis, and it means a pressing, where you have a heavy weight on you that's just literally squeezing the life out of you. It's the picture of olives being crushed repeatedly, and then being put into those burlap sacks, and then a Gethsemane, um, which is your olive press, just sits on it and just squeezes every last bit of goodness out of them so it can be harvested and used. That's your picture of biblical suffering. So as much as we say we don't want it, and I say that's good, lead us not into temptation, right? Deliver us from evil, yes. But yet James is giving this alternate view of how we can respond because of what we know as opposed to what we feel. Trials just always feel, I was going to use an untoward word there, trials just always feel bad. They don't feel good. Somebody who thinks they feel good, well, okay, you need therapy. But so they never feel good. And so James doesn't say consider it, well, he doesn't say feel it joy or be happy. He says consider it or count it. This is what you are putting it down in the record book. Pure joy whenever you fall into all kinds of trials. It's a different way of seeing life. Because when I look at this tree, it's like welcome to life. You never know what's going to fall on you. I think Forrest Gump was far too optimistic. Life is not a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That implies, there might be some things that are distasteful. I think the only way that the life is a box of chocolates really works as a statement of functioning reality is if we're going back to the Monty Python box of chocolates, which includes the spring surprise. It's a frog chocolate you put in your mouth, and then 2 spring bolts burst out of both cheeks. Okay, then life is like a box of chocolates because you might get their spring surprise. But I don't like the box of chocolates so much, but it is like a tree. Some of it's alive and some of it's dead, and you never know what part's going to fall on you next. So how are you enjoying this time so far? Is this good? Okay. And you just don't know. You can't anticipate. The thing is, we're trying to get this tree. The plan was to get it cut down this month anyway. And so we're trying to get it cut down, but as you can see here, there's oh gosh, trying to get the angle right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see that bit right there? I think probably looks about like the bit that just fell. And it's aimed right over where we sleep. So, pray that, it stays up, keeps itself together just a little bit longer. Time, just giving us enough time to cut it down. But, that's just a house. In a context of terminal cancer and your granddaughter and cancer in your daughter and oh gosh, okay, everything else, it just becomes footnotes so much. I wish it had fallen on the house instead of their truck, but insurance, it'll take care of stuff. And of course, very glad nobody happened to be in the truck or around the truck at the time. So we deal with things as promptly as we can. If you know someone who can cut a tree down quickly, wow, send them my way. But and if they're insured and bonded and what have you. But not to get away from the metaphor, life is like a tree, some alive, some dead. You never know what part's going to fall on you next. And so we do the best we can, and we make the most of what falls, which in this case was a pile. Okay, here we go. A pile of debris, some of which is really usable. We've got some friends. Let me try again the angle thing here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Trying to get these. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got them. Really nice dry wood split grate. We don't have a fireplace anymore, so there's always something good that comes out of trials. Nothing is wasted, people. Nothing is wasted, and everything is redeemable. Everything is used one way or another, which is why we can consider it pure joy. I wish the other night, because when I got home, it was already, we had enough time basically to clear it out. Dom Nilo came over with his chainsaw, and he and my son Brandon and I Brandon and I just basically held up the pieces as they were cut so that it didn't do further damage to the vehicle and so forth. And so we cleared it out. But it would have been great to actually film this while it was there. That would have been amazing, because nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. Everything is used. God redeems everything. The worst of things He redeems. And so we do the best we can with what we have. So yes, life is like a tree, and it gives life and it gives death. I'm looking at this tree now, and yeah, if you can just see this, the green life is over here and what's dying is over here, and it's all in the same tree, life and death. So I know in scripture you've got the tree of life, and it has the fruits that is for the healing. The leaves are for the healing of the nations and so forth. And the New Jerusalem is pictured as just having a life-giving stream that goes deeper as you go, and it's lined with trees of life. Okay, well, this isn't the New Jerusalem yet. So what we're actually left with is maple. And so we've got life and death in the same tree. And yet nothing is wasted and all is redeemed. So there you go. I was just wondering and praying about, so what do I share on Thursdays with Mike this week? And it's like, well, probably what just fell on my neighbor's truck that I could share, and what hopefully won't fall on the house. So be praying that we can get this cut down and dispatched, but that's not really the point. The point is grace for whatever falls on you next, and may it be life and not death, but remember, it's all redeemed, and this is all a story of the restoration of all things, in which nothing is wasted. So there you go. So that's it for this week, folks. I will, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Blessings.